And yeah, through the idea of actually not criticizing ourselves, we can start to move forward into the perception of truth. And the truth being, um, excuse me, the truth being El Cafe. Coffee is a very interesting one. It's something that I still haven't got my head around. The fascinating point is that once we get around that we're not to blame, because we often criticize ourselves. God help us. We're constantly criticizing ourselves for the lack of being able to handle these. When we're in the present moment, we can blossom that truth, and that truth is like, this is really good for us, let's do this is amazing, this is awesome, I'm going to do this forever because I know that this is good for me. And then, like, when we lose that through our minds convincing us of fear, stress, worry, within our lives, and it makes us lose our attention on what's actually good for us, and this happens in everyday life, we can then, once we overcome the fear, stress, and worry, and then we go back to what's good for us, it's gone. Well, it's not that it's gone, it's that we didn't grow it, and that we perceive that we have lost that high connection to that truth. We feel like we just lost that opportunity to grow that, because we often convince ourselves that, like, now's the time to do it and there's no other time, and if we don't do it now, then we'll never get that chance again. Or we convince ourselves that I need to do this every day, and when we don't achieve that every day, we feel like we're not strong enough to get that done. It could be as easy as waking up early in the morning and doing something beneficial, like going for a walk or doing some yoga or doing some exercise. And when we don't hit that milestone, when we wake up at 10 o'clock and we feel awfully bad, we then start to criticize ourselves. I think it's essential to look at the overall perspective within the whole calculation between the mind convincing that it's our fault, because that's what the mind does. It convinces that we're weak. We're the ones who are weak. And when I talk about we, I'm talking about the truth in the first place, the truth of why we're doing it in the first place. So why we're doing it in the first place is because we know in the hearts that it's good for us. We know in the soul that it's good for us. We know in the present moment that this is true for us. And when we don't hit that throughout the day or at the start of the day, we're often super tough on ourselves. We're often like saying to ourselves almost like we have to wait till tomorrow. This whole day is like kind of gone out the window because we didn't start it right. And, there can be truth to that regarding at least the sense of dedication. So then we always have that chance to start again tomorrow. I mean, it's worked for some people. Some people, if they like don't get up in that morning, their whole day is gone out the window. And if everyone's different, everyone needs to be treated with respect. So there needs to be some sense of like commitment, but at the same time, I think our minds can like really like push us down in a way that convinces us that like we're actually useless. Some people have that inner strength to actually just try the next day, but a lot of people actually just give up hope and just completely go into a state of suffering and a state of almost giving up and not having anything to believe in. So there's like the different scales. There's one scale that says, okay, I've got to try again tomorrow. But then there's another scale that says, no, I'm going to give up for the rest of my life. And there needs to be some sense of balance between those two extremities. Well, no, the tomorrow isn't really an extreme. It's kind of, quite practical, because there can be truth. And so there's truth on the other perspective about giving up, because that's true to them.